Well, the DNQ Karting Series is at its halfway point, and that means only one thing. It's time for the Winston.
Swear to God, I'll Billy Club them and knock them over like a baby seal. It ain't even fair.
Tonight at Millbridge Speedway, a star-studded field of 30-plus karts will try to make it into the final 18. That will race for $1,000. Winner-take-only event here tonight. And if we know anything from the DNQ Karting Series event, it's that these guys race extremely hard. So tonight, DNQ regulars will take on some of the best in the country as they try to come and poach $1,000 from these DNQ drivers. We'll see three-wide battle, choose cone restarts, tempers flaring, and one thing's for sure, somebody's going to leave here with a lot of money.
Davey Knopf will take the win at the Winston. Woo! Wow, that was a hell of a finish there.
Dan Ridenhour is your official winner after we went through tech. We had 3 karts fail engine tech.
Coming up next is the DNQ All-Star Race, the Winston, presented by Brown's Karts and Parts. The Millbridge Speedway not only hosts the majority of the DNQ events, but they host the biggest one as well. Tonight, it's the Winston, presented by Brown's Karts and Parts and the DNQ Karting Series. We've got a lot of drivers here tonight, and one of those drivers is going to be lucky enough to leave this track with $1,000 in cash. The track is prepped by Jeremy Burnett. He's got it laid down right. Let's go down to Tony Stevens and talk about the track for tonight.
You guys, if you're new to the DNQ, you may have thought we were crazy. Greg Walter said earlier this year they were running the Coke 600 on dirt. Well, he partially lied. They're only running the Winston on dirt. Yeah, if you're new to it, Millbridge Speedway, fine. Clay Oval out here, just north of Charlotte in Concord, North Carolina. But look at this surface. We haven't even practiced yet. And this thing, barely can get the tip of my pen down on the racetrack. This thing's already nice and firm packed. Now, if you move down here, it's a little bit more moisture. It's a little bit rougher. We might see guys down here. We might see guys up top because you're right here, nice and flat, a lot of moisture, short way around. Middle lane, a little smoother, maybe a little more grip early. We'll find out. But how ballsy can you be? Because that's what this Winston is all about. It's winner take all. Big money, go big or go home. Do you come all the way up here on what will be the cushion where you've got 5, 10, 12, 14 degrees of banking to help that kart turn? It's a long way around, but you get that sucker hauling up here, you might have a shot to go to victory lane in the Winston.
Let's welcome in Jay-Z from upstate New York. Jay-Z, we've got 2 guys who are locked into this race right now. It's Jason Denny and John Kinder, and they're looking stuff over. They're already in the feature. Zero pressure on them to make it.
They look pretty comfortable, but I know there's some heavy hitters that have driven in from outside the DNQ series, ready to try to steal $1,000 out from underneath their noses. So Kinder and Denny, they're ready to go, but they better be on their A game tonight.
Yeah, we've got definitely have some ringers here tonight, but let's take a look at the guys who are locked into this race, and it's Jason Denny and John Kinder, as we talked about. Caitlin Benj and LJ McCleary, past champions, are locked into this feature. We took 8 of them.
Yeah, and these guys have beat the best of the rest that showed up. David Markham, Dan Ridenhour, fan favorite, and then the Southeast's king of dirt, Knopf, and Tyson Freeze, the fan vote winner. They're all locked into the show, so they got a little bit less to worry about, but still competition stiff.
I know a lot of guys were worried about it. Knopf was not locked in originally, and then we did not have enough champions show up, so he is now locked in as being a past winner. But let's go down to Tony.
Hey guys, walking through the pit area, I'm telling you, you know what the best part about the DNQ race is? You get these hero cars, man. I haven't seen the driver yet, but somebody told me Dale was here. Dale is here. I've got to find Dale, or whatever his name is, Tyson. I got to find him because, I mean, he's the intimidator, man. He's here. He's here. That's my idol. I grew up watching this guy. Haven't seen him for 20 years, but I grew up watching this guy. I'm telling you, man, coming back. Something happening here. Now I got to get this thing autographed. I don't know where I'm going to do it, but I'll be back. Dale's here. Woo!
DNQ Karting Series, always a great family atmosphere. Not in the videos, but at least at the racetrack. And Stephanie's there, and she's rocking a DNQ shirt, which we just got. If you'd like to buy one, check it out online. Send us a message on Facebook or Twitter. We have a bunch of sizes for sale, but let's go down to Tony's down with Matt Hendricks trying to make this race.
Any good champion like Dale was all about having a good time, and Matt Hendricks is here, but how are you having a good time, dude? You're already pulling out the fenders on the cart. I mean, I think the thing's still rubbing. You've got tire marks all over it. What the heck have you guys got going on here? You just spend too much time dancing or what?
Yeah, a little too much time dancing. Shout out to Bill's School of Dance. They take any size, any skill level. So if you want to get some dance lessons, Bill's School of Dance. But we just had a little bit of an issue, kind of minor stuff. You know, it's self-clearancing, so we'll figure it out, pretty much.
So if you can't clear that, can you reach that from the cockpit of the cart? Can you reach over there and clear that fender like Dale would?
Of course. If not, I'll just kick it. And I'll just get out, rip the whole nose off, and we'll just go with no nose. So, you know, not a big deal for us.
So if you can't Dale it, you're going to Sterling it.
Absolutely. You know, under the red flag, I'm going to get out, give it a nice little tug, get back in, act like nothing happened.
Is there even a rule against that in the Winston? I know they got special rules here. I haven't seen that in the rule book. Have you?
I have not. So, I mean, you know, if it isn't in the rule book, then it's not against the rules. So I'm just going to do it if I can.
That halfway pit stop, speaking of rules, you got anything special you're going to do then?
Well, we got to make it there first. We're in the open, so that's highly unlikely that we're going to make it there, so we'll figure it out if we get there.
You know, Dale never really had to run the open because he was a winner. Unlike people like you, he was a winner. Now, a guy like Sterling had to run the open a lot, and Sterling's pretty cool, and he got in the Winston, so, I mean, how do you combine those two together?
Listen, you bring your friends to the racetrack, you don't make friends at the racetrack. So we're going to go as fast as possible. We're not going to make any friends, and we are just going to destroy the field.
Or yourself?
Probably myself, but hopefully the field.
Well, we'll see what and who gets destroyed. One thing's for certain, I got to find a bathroom to destroy, guys. There's some pretty good food here, but it's got to get out of here fast.
Well, Alex Bonsignor trying to make his DNQ Series debut, trying to make the Race of Champions. He's got a lot of positions to gain to try to make it.
It's really tough competition out there tonight, Bob. We got a sea of drivers trying to make it in through the open. We'll see what he can do. Maybe luck will be on his side.
You never know. It's really tough here when you're racing the best against the best, and he's just starting out. So we'll see how it works, but let's check out tonight's race layout. Well, if you want to make the Winston, you're going to start in the open. For drivers who have never won a DNQ Karting Series race, the top 4 finishers will advance. Those top 4 finishers from that race advance to the Race of Champions. That consists of DNQ past winners. You'll have to finish top 10 to advance to the big one, the All-Star race. Tonight's All-Star race features past champions, past All-Star winners, and the fan vote, and $1,000 cash goes to the winner. So far, we've had 2 All-Star races. Dan Ridenhour won in the Tech Shed in 2018. Jamie Knopf won in 2017 in dominating fashion. He's back here tonight, so he could win. Let's go down to Tony, who's still looking for Dale.
You know, guys, you don't see it here. Those 4 Winston Cup trophies in this picture. Dale won 7 of them. But Dale didn't start from a lot. He had pretty humble beginnings. Kind of like this crew back here. So let's see if they can tell us anything about Dale. David Markham's, look, David's even got a black cart. So, yeah, just like the Intimidator. So we're getting somewhere. How much did Dale inspire your paint scheme here tonight for the Winston?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we always run the black cart because, you know, just like all those guys back in the day, they'd see that black car in their mirror. They'd get scared. That's all black. That's what we do it for, man. Raise hell, praise Dale.
That's exactly right. I like him. He's got something going on here. So, I mean, yeah, you're looking Dale Earnhardt budgeting. I mean, you ain't got any vinyl on the side. You're cobbling it together. Who'd you have to borrow money from this week to get to the racetrack to promise them you're going to win and pay them back?
My parents, you know, I told them I'd wreck anybody to win this. So, you know, they said they'd borrow me the money. And, yeah, so we got to go out there and win and pay our debts back. You know, that's how it goes in racing.
So did you reinforce the front bumper at all? Who do you have to hit? How many people are you going to hit to win this thing tonight?
Every single one of them who's in front of me. So hopefully I get the pole and I don't have to worry about it. But if not, then run over anybody for some money, you know.
How bad you cheated up to get there?
Where'd Eddie go? We didn't cheat at all. It's all stock, completely bone stock.
You know, I'm not sure I believe that. How much money did you bring to pay the tech guy to say that?
No comment. No comment. It's on that loan, so I can't talk about it right now. But, yeah, no comment.
All confidential information?
Absolutely.
Well, who thinks got the best paint scheme here tonight?
I don't know. I just got here like 2 minutes ago, so I haven't seen anybody yet. But I guess I'll have to say me because it's all black like Dale. So, yeah.
Well, there you have it. Humble beginnings, just like Dale. David Markham back here trying to make something happen. We'll find out how bad he sucks because he ain't Dale, but he's going to try.
Well, good luck to David Markham tonight, but tonight's a very special race for many reasons, but we have no tire rule tonight, so you can run whatever tire you want, JZ, and that opens the gates to a lot of different compounds.
You know, Eddie and the other promoters here aren't chicken shit. They're willing to open it up and try something new. And to get the most entries, they want to open up that tire rule so people that have Vegas in their trailer, Burris or Maxxis, they can show up and compete. And with the track changing the way it's going to change tonight, who knows what the right compound's going to be. You got mom, you got grandma, you got your wife, you got your sisters, you got your friends in there cleaning tires. That's going to be the difference between someone that takes home $1,000 and someone that's on the trailer going home early.
I see some Vegas right there, so they're trying around them, and I don't know if they're faster here, but let's go down to Tony.
Guys, one of the things we've got to keep an eye on this week is, very simply, the tire situation. Why? It's an open tire rule this week. I've seen guys with 6 tires, 8 tires, 4 tires, even one cart with 3 tires. No rule said you had to have 4 tires. A couple of them are wide, a couple of them are skinny, a couple of them are still shiny. But ultimately, it's going to come down to who's got the most power right here. Why? These things. Guys like Jamie Knopf with their Pink Magic, all these other various chemicals from ProBlend, Track Tax over here, you name it, they've got it here at the racetrack. Now, any seasoned racer will tell you, if you're putting this stuff on at the racetrack, you've already missed the boat. But there are some various chemicals out there, things called goat piss and things like that, that when you need something last minute for somebody, you just pour them on there and hope they work. The race tonight could be won or lost, maybe not so much here at this table, but the guy who had to mix all this stuff together to get those tires right, and the guy who chooses to put those tires on, maybe at the halfway break, that might be your winner a little bit later here this evening.
Tires will definitely be a very important thing tonight, so get some of that Pink Magic prep if you need it. Jamie Knopf's stuff is hands down the best on tire prep.
He's got an easy-to-understand program. Jamie's the best.
Absolutely, hands down. Well, Tony Stevens is still around looking for his idol, Dale, but he is down with Clip Mills right now. Let's go down and talk to him.
You know, Dale won 7 championships. Old picture, doesn't have all 7 cups, but look at this. Black cart, 7s. 7s all around it. 77. It means something here tonight. It means something. A black 77. That's how many championships Dale won, Clint Mills. But he didn't win 7 Winstons. How do you win the Winston here tonight, your first one?
You want me to be honest or just tell them like,
Well, damn straight I want you to be honest.
I'm going to knock them all out of the way and until I get to the front. That's pretty much clear and simple.
So how much weight have you got on the front of this thing for the bumper? I don't see anything in there.
How much what?
How much weight you got on that for a bumper? I don't see anything.
Well, I mean, I weigh 207 pounds. I usually run super heavy. They moved the weight up. I think it's 390 today or something like that. So I don't really get to add a lot. I think I might have 10 pounds of tungsten on the left side. That might be it. But other than that, it's just awesome to be here. I don't know when this is going to go out or whenever, but I called out of work sick tonight to come race this. So we can bleep that out later if you need to. But yeah, I'm just excited to be here. I ain't got to race DNQ all year because of my work schedule. And I'm just ready to, I'm glad to be back, pumped up. There's a lot of people here. There's a good crowd. The DNQ series really took off.
Capacity crowd tonight for the 3rd annual running of the Winstons. That gets you jacked up?
It gets me jacked up like on Mountain Dew. You know, I drink Mountain Dew, it jacks me up. Being here at the Winston jacks me up. You know, I saw Tyson looking awesome in his Earnhardt scheme and stuff like that. It's just badass all the way around. I got to thank everybody that came out here and helped me thrash on this thing about 4 hours a day before we got here. I didn't even watch it from last weekend. So, I mean, I got to thank Tony and Corey. He helps me all the time every weekend. Platinum Racing Chassis, Predator Racing Engines from Harbor Freight. I mean, it's just fun racing, and I'm just glad to be here.
There's a rumor, you can confirm or deny this, there's a rumor that the reason you have no ballast on your race car is because all your ballast is right here at the bottom, about halfway up the steering column. Any truth to that?
You got that right. Ain't no lie about that, brother. You got to pull them up, pull them to the side, and go with the balls to the wall.
Well, that's how you win it here tonight at Millbridge. You heard it, balls to the wall from Clint Mills. He likes to think that all of his weight's right there in his, but quite frankly, it's just a bunch of lead sitting there.
I wake up in the morning just like Ricky Bobby says, and I piss excellence. That's what I plan on doing today.
Well, Mike Contarito and Adam Royals have been two of some of the best racers in the DNQ series so far this season. They're in the ROC. They're looking to make the Winston. They've got their stuff. They've got a good package. Their stuff's right. But let's go down and talk to Tony Stevens, who has finally caught up with our fan vote winner, Tyson Freeze.
Guys, I found my idol. I found him. He's here. I told you he was here. Dale Earnhardt is here. He's here. Dale, why are we so worthy to have you here with us tonight at the Winston?
Well, I wasn't really going. I mean, I got the mustache and all, but I was going more for like an 80s look. He's the Dale tonight. He's the driver. So I'm more of a Kirk Shelmerdine tonight. Going to be wrenching on it, crew chiefing, hopefully make the right calls and get him in victory lane.
Well, hold on. Where's our driver at? Where's our driver at? You don't look anything like Dale. You know that, right?
I can't pull that off. I don't have any hair.
So wait a second. If you're gonna be Dale, they did it better than you did. So wait a second. You got to give me some angle here. What's your angle?
I'm just going to drive like him. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to drive like him. It's hard for me to look like him, but unless I got my helmet and all that on. So I'm just going to drive like him. Just drive through him.
Drive through him.
Well, whatever it takes.
See, Dale, let me give you a history lesson here, kids. Dale never drove through anybody. Dale gave him 1 tap to let him know it was there, 2 to tell him he was coming, and 3 to get him the rest of the way out of the way. He didn't drive through anybody, and then he would just rattle their cage. You got to understand, if you're going to drive like Dale, you can't drive through people.
Well, I'll just have to maybe give them a warning bump, and then, you know, if they don't move, then we'll just have to take matters into my own hands. But we came to win this thing. James has been working on this since last year's race was over. He's been talking about it, planning everything. He is all out on this deal. And we ain't going to take nothing less than a win. If we don't win, we're going to be highly disappointed.
Before we debut this kart, how in the world did you get the fan vote? Was it because of this? Was it because you guys channeled Dale in everything you do, or was this the reward for the fans for voting for you?
Well, we was going to do it anyway. We were going to do the whole deal anyway, regardless of whether we won the fan vote or not. But you know, I had a hell of a campaign manager right there. James, you know, he lined all the giveaways and the sharing on Facebook, and I just kind of sat back and watched the votes come in, and hopefully we can put on a show for the fans that got us locked in this deal.
What's it mean to be in the same sentence, same vein as racing greats like Danica Patrick, who were voted into the race because their talent couldn't get them there?
Well, I hope we don't take no stuff back to the junkyard like she does. I mean, she kept the guys at the scrapyard in business. I'm sure of it. But, yeah, hopefully we don't. I mean, if we tear it up, we tear it up. But we're going to try not to do that. We're going to try to make more than 5 laps.
Well, you might be about 3 laps ahead of the game with her if you make 5 laps. So let's take a look at this thing, guys. Campaign manager over here. Now, wait a second. What else did you guys give away?
Well, we done, to help with the votes, to share with the ad that I put on there to vote for Tyson. I done one of my shirts, Stanley Speed Solutions, and a $25 gift card just to get people to get the word out and get them to vote. Well, that's part of the free beer tonight was part of people wearing Earnhardt stuff. So if you're wearing Earnhardt stuff tonight, I got Busch Light in the cooler. Whoever wants it, they can get it.
Including the Dale stand-up for Busch?
That's right.
Well, there you have it. Well, this is the grand moment, folks. The car that's going to win the Winston, here it is. 1980s Dale Earnhardt paint scheme, black and silver, because we all know that's what real men wear is black and silver. No other color matters. It's all about black and silver. Where'd Tyson go? Come here. Does that not just make you tear up, knowing you're driving the man's car here tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. It's always been a dream to run the Winston, but you know, we're here at Millbridge. We're running the Winston, and when I was a kid watching Dale Earnhardt, you know, go around the racetrack on Sundays, and I never thought I'd be honored and privileged to run the Black 3, number 3 Jim Goodrich Chevrolet, but here we are.
Well, it's not quite a Chevrolet. It's nice and pretty. You got a little bit of metal flake in the paint, whether you meant to or not. Looks good. Now, we fully expect you to come back with not a single bit on the nose of this car. You understand?
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. There's no way that's not going to happen. I want wheel burns all down the right side, not the left side, just all down the right side. I want to scuff it up. This is a one-and-done car right here. After this, it's retired. The body's going on the wall in the shop. We want some trademark on it.
Well, there you have it. Tyson Fry is trying to channel his inner intimidator here tonight. So far, everything else looks good. I don't know if he's going to be up to the task, but we'll give it a shot anyway, right?
Come on, baby, first down.
Earnhardt.
Yeah, coach.
You're in.
Who got eight? Who got eight? One, two,
Walkie-talkies get it done. Next tell.
Take a look at the DNQ, the Winston Open starting lineup. Dustin Bailey on the Tar Heel Race Supplies pole with Daniel Armstrong on the outside.
Grayson Brookshire and Jesse Riggins, two outsiders looking to stamp their name in the series. Adam Wilcox and Tom Spano on the next row.
Steven Adams and Devin Dowell will be in our next row for this race.
Tim Contarino and Cliff Lovendall in the next row, two familiar faces.
Ronnie Shirk and Ben Lindley will be in the next row. They're going to have a lot of carts to pass tonight.
Yeah, I know Ronnie Shirk's not afraid to stick his nose in there, though. I'm hoping he's got his tires right, along with Derek Keeter and Allard Richardson.
Matt Hendricks and Alice Bonsignor will round out the field for tonight's race. Let's take a look at the Winston Open. Any driver can attempt this race, and the top four transferred to the Race of Champions. Now, we have got a ton of ringers here tonight, JZ. It's going to be tough for them to make it through this field. As we look on the onboard cameras, we've got Ronnie Shirk, one of our favorites to have an onboard camera tonight. And Grayson Brookshire will have the other 5-star tire specialties in-car camera. Well, you got 4 spots. You've got a ton of carts here, JZ. I mean, if you're towards the back of this field, how are you going to make it in that top 4 as we go green?
You need some luck on your side along with the right set of tires. I know Armstrong up front's won a lot of money down here in the South, and he'll be tough to beat. He's a favorite to win this race early on.
Yeah, as they're double file down the back stretch, single file, and we've got one around already. That's Tim Contarino and Alan Richardson will go for a spin. Looks like it's going to bring the caution flag out. Let's take a look at that again. He just checked up.
Yeah, he checked up. Maybe he didn't have enough, turn in on entry there and got tagged from behind and got turned around.
It's so hard to tell here at Millbridge Speedway, especially on the starts, but we've got cone choose restarts, and I have a feeling these are going to be really shitty as we go back green. Dustin Bailey leads this field, and the rest of the guys coming down the front stretch. It's going to be tough to get in that top 4, so I think we're going to see a couple wrecks during this race as we've got carts all over the place down the back stretch. Alan Richardson spinning. But that's just part of it. You got to make the top 4.
Yeah, and on these restarts, that's the best time to try to make some hay and get up towards the front. If you let 5, 10, 11 laps go by, you'll have no shot because those leaders are going to be checked out in clean air. I know the rules package has been updated. They got new splitters in the front of these go-karts here tonight. We're trying out something new, so you got to make your move early, Bob.
Now, Grayson Brookshire, we saw Nigel Standish destroy the wall last race. He is running that kart tonight, and Grayson Brookshire is running his backup kart trying to make the race. He is in the 9B, and it's a pink B, and they said the B stands for bitch. So he is in the 9 bitch tonight, but he's having a good run. So far, he's into the race.
Some guys are more of the dominating type. Some guys want to be dominated, and sometimes they own that bitch, as we got one around on the inside. I think that's Shirk, Bob.
Yeah, Ronnie Shirk went for a spin down the backstretch. Looks like Cliff Lovendall got into him. Let's take a look at the instant replay. Dump the shit out of him.
I'm not surprised. Lovendall doesn't take shit from no one. He's trying to get to the front and win that $1,000, and get cleaned up here with his checkbook. So, Shirk just got left reared and turned right around. If I'm Ronnie, I'm giving him the bird next time by.
You know what? The Millbridge Speedway made a great innovation. They took all the grass out of the infield and made it fake grass, which we call dirt. So it doesn't tear the splitters up as we're back underway. Great innovation from Millbridge Speedway.
Yeah, as we see Armstrong tearing off of turn 2, leading down the back straightaway. We got another one on the inside. Bob, another example. No one ripped the nose cone off. No one dug in and flipped over. And it kept the go-kart from spinning back up into traffic. It's even more around in turn 4. Again, more innovation here at Millbridge.
Keeter was up on the left rear of Devin Dowell. Riggins is involved. And we already had Lovendall spin. The caution was out. Then they get into Thomas Markham. Lindley's involved. I mean, you know what that is? That's $1,000 to win. That's exactly what that is. Well, the DNQ Karting Series, the Winston, is brought to you by Brown's Karts and Parts of Lancaster, South Carolina. Contact them for any parts that you need to buy for your kart. And by the DNQ Series. We have shirts for sale on the website. Send us a message on Facebook or Twitter to order one. $20 per shirt. And we are also brought to you by Pink Magic Tire Prep by Jamie Knopf. I want to thank them for their sponsorship of the DNQ ARCA Series. Go buy their product at any go-karting store. Well, here we go. We talked about Alex Bonsignor before. He's got a shot. He is in fourth on this restart. For a guy that hasn't been up front much often, you can just tell he did not get a good restart there as the green flag's back out.
No, he boofed it, and you can already see the angel dust starting to build in that high line. You want to stay out of it. The guys on the outside are going to get trucked as you see someone lose 5-6 spots in the restart there. 3 wide, 1 around again. $1,000 is making some people make some bad choices, Bob.
And we stay green, though. They kept it going, and you know what? We don't play around here at the DNQ Series, and neither is Ashley or Jeremy Burnett here. Better get it going, because we're not throwing the yellow unless you're about to get ran into the side. So you pick. Either you want the spindles blowing off the thing, or we're going to throw the caution. Your choice.
Yellow is out. We've got 2 around in the line. Oh, it's the yellow number 7 again, and Alex Bonsignor stuck on the inside. Bummer to see him. I know we've been talking about him a lot tonight. Not necessarily living up to the lineage that he's supposed to.
Well, you know, it's tough when you're first starting out racing, and he was up towards the front of the field. It's just you're racing the best in the country here, and even in this race, we've got a bunch of ringers. Looks like they just hop wheels, and then he gets sent around. Lovendahl involved in that as well. Poteet backs it up the track, gets hit, and it breaks the spindle on Lovendahl. Look at that left front. Destroyed.
Man, I know Lovendahl's a better driver than that. I think he's just seeing the pink mist there and driving 1 foot off the front of his bumper there. Tough break for him. He's normally fast as we're with him trackside here.
Yeah, Lovendahl almost won the fan vote, lost to Tyson Freeze by a couple hundred votes, but that is a tough way to end your night. And from going from locked into the feature to not making, it's a tough deal. But he'll be back next year. He clubbed Baby Seals last year. That was when that quote happened at this race last year. As we're back under green. I'll tell you what, Grayson Brookshire, not a ringer, but he's going to have a shot at making this race along with Adam Wilcox, another DNQ regular up towards the front.
Bob, this is why the rule package in DNQ is almost perfect. As we're on board here with Grayson Brookshire and the 5-star tire specialties on board, he gets left reared, moved up the racetrack. Someone's on the inside of him as the yellow's out again, Bob.
Oh, my God. We've got Matt Hendricks and Derek Keeter. They got hung up as we are going back green. It looks like Brookshire jumped that restart a little bit, but you about have to if you're on the outside.
Yeah, you've got no chance. That track's starting to dry out a little bit. It's getting that Monster Energy Ultra Black groove down the bottom of the racetrack. You got to fight for the bottoms. We see the 51 cart lose 4 or 5 spots. I think that's Riggins falling way back.
It is. Grayson Brookshire had the lead for a minute, but Dustin Bailey's going to take it back as Tom Spanel and Daniel Armstrong are racing. I am really impressed with Brookshire right now. He has got a cart that looks like it could even compete for a win, let alone transfer. And, man, it's just so tough to beat these ringers. The top 4 are hands down Steven Adams, Daniel Armstrong, Spanel, and Dustin Bailey. These guys are really good, the best in the country, and you're trying to beat those guys. It's going to be tough.
It is, but it's a real confidence booster. Like when you pull it out and the griller with says, "Ooh, it's so big." You really feel like you can do anything, and you're Superman at that point.
Jesse Riggins had an issue. He stopped in the middle of the racetrack, caused another caution. We're going to go single file for the rest of this race because there's too many freaking cautions. All right, here we go. Green flag. We're back underway. And Dustin Bailey leading this field. And here we go. You got to fight for these top 4 spots. Now that we're single file, it's going to be tough as Ronnie Shirk up there having a good race so far. You really have to look at these guys who run the ARCA series and all this stuff. Just to be towards the front of this field is still pretty damn good.
Yeah, you've got the best of the best. These guys that show up with 32-foot haulers and 15 sets of tires all done. We've got someone going backwards with the bird out, letting him know he's none too pleased. And who's driving that 46 tonight, Bob? I wasn't paying attention earlier.
It was Brad Poteet, but he about got destroyed on the racetrack. He threw the middle finger out there pretty quick. I was impressed with that finger. That was a good one. Man, that was tough. You know, you got to flip the bird every once in a while. Let's take a look at this again. Yeah, it looks like he got into Keeter, who went up the racetrack. That was Josh Long and Derek Keeter. Not sure what happened to Poteet there, though. I'm sure that's what brought the caution.
I guess I put too much bumper to him. Lost the nose, can't stop wheel hopping.
Well, tough break for Derek Keeter. His first DNQ start, wanted to try to make the feature. Not looking like it's going to happen here tonight. As we go back green, a couple laps left for these guys, the top 4 ringers. And like we talked about, finishing decent in this race is still good for these guys. And they can always come back and run the ARCA series and try to make a career out of that and work their way up.
That's where most people start. You got to get your foot in the door somewhere. Maybe you look good. You got that $1 million smile. Some sponsor throws some bills at you, and before you know it, you're out there, racing. As one more goes around.
Oh my God!
Right in the middle of the racetrack. Wow, that was scary. Made my butthole pucker there for a second. But we're still green.
Ben Lindley spun as we go in the five-star Tire Specialties in-car camera of Grayson Brookshire. He is outside of that top 4 right now. I don't know what can you do at this point to try to get in that top 4 with these guys.
They're all so close. They're all within a couple hundredths of each other. You got to wait for that guy up front to maybe slow down or make a mistake. That's the problem with some of this dirt oval racing, Bob. When you're flat out all the way around, you got what you got. I don't know what you can do to be your hero and try to get that final training spot.
2 laps to go, and it looks like Dustin Bailey is going to check out from this field. I mean, lap traffic would be the only way I could see something happen here, as Dustin Bailey will take the white flag in the open. And I don't think, short of anything happening, that Spano's even going to try to pass him as they got some lap traffic. Not going to stop Dustin Bailey. He is going to take the win in the Winston Open, presented by Brown's Karts and Parts, and he is moving on along with the top 4.
All right, here in victory lane with Dustin Bailey. He's himself in the 87 machine. Led for pretty much the good majority of the race. This car was looking pretty sporty out there.
Yes, sir. I was just hoping it all stay together.
All right, well, yeah, much like everyone else, a little bit of time in between to get ready for the next stage. As fast as you're looking towards the front, I think it's going to handle towards the back of the pack, working our way up towards the top 10 to get to the next stage.
I hope so. We're going to try our best to make it to the top.
All right, well, what is it going to take? What do you have to change on this cart then? What work do you have to do to get this thing in the stage where you could potentially work our way up to that top 10, advance your way to the next bit?
Just figure out what we've done wrong and tires, main key, and everything.
Absolutely. Well, in victory lane, but looks like the demeanor's a little bit low. I'm sure, though, however, getting the opportunity to advance to the next stage has got to mean a lot for Dustin Bailey here in the 87. All right, well, a second place finisher, Tom Spano, here in the Open. He'll be seeing himself advancing to the next stage. And let me tell you, Tom, much like I said earlier, pretty scrappy race out there, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Those choose cone double file restarts was fun, but they sure bred a lot of cautions.
Right, yeah, speaking of those cautions, how did it really work out with your nerves out there? Because I must say, you got the 20 laps, but half the time you got to sit there and think about it to yourself, right? It was
just hoping we get a long run. I look up the board and I saw 7 laps on the board for about half an hour. Man, I was just hoping we get into that.
All right, well, on to the next stage. A little bit of time in between to start preparing the car for the next race. What you think you got so far? I think you can work your way up into that top 10 and possibly qualify for the main event tonight?
It's going to be a little tough getting top 10, but a little extra practice we got right now should help a little bit.
All right, well, a little bit extra time to get this car ready for the next part of his night. Well, it wasn't pretty, but a third-place finish for Daniel Armstrong out here in your Open. And Daniel, it was scrappy out there, man. Hardly had any green flag laps that whole entire race. What did it take to get you up there towards the front of this thing and qualify for the next part of the stage?
Well, I started up there. The outside deal, I mean, they pull up there beside you and run you through the infield. So just kind of rode in third the whole time. I think if we'd have went green, I'd have been pretty good. So I think we'll be all right. It pays one spot tonight, so that's what we're here for.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, you got two more. Well, actually, excuse me. You got one more race to go to get into that main race that is paying the big 4 figures, right? How's the piece? You think you got enough to maybe take it up there and qualify for the main and maybe take a shot at your $1 grand?
I believe I'll be fine. I think I can get in it. Just need to get back to the trailer and work on tires a little bit.
All right, well, solid third place finish so far. A couple more steps to go, but getting closer to that $1,000 payout.
Well, Adam Welsh and the rest of the field is getting ready to start the Race of Champions, and they are next on tonight's event. Coming up next, it's a Race of Champions.
And what a story for Laura Wilkinson of the United States. Listen to that applause.
Maybe I should be in the Olympics.
We're back as Tony Stewart nice round of applause for Tony Stewart. Security to the main entrance.
NASCAR and the Summer Olympics on NBC.
All right, Jay-Z, the Race of Champions is rolling off. Now, this is the top 4 transfers and past DNQ winners. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's Browns, Karts, and Parts Race of Champions. Starting in the front row, it is Austin Yarborough and Randy Armstrong.
Second row, one of the fan favorites, Adam Welch, and Caleb Cunard of Five-Star Tire Specialties in the second row.
Row number 3 is going to feature Nigel Standish and Jeremy Morris.
The next row, Rob Bates, who's been close so many times, and Ronnie Carroll in the 26X.
In the next row, we've got Robert Showalter and Clint Mills.
All right, and Mike Contarino and Mike Melton in the 46 make up the next row.
In our next row, we've got Brown's Karts and Parts man himself, Kyle Brown, and our transfer, Dustin Bailey.
Daniel Armstrong and Tom Spannell also transferred in to this race here this evening, hoping to make it on to the Winston.
And Steven Adams will round out the field for the Race of Champions. And I'll tell you what, a star-studded field at best. And here's how it works. The Race of Champions, past DNQ race winners, and the transfers. And the top 10 will transfer to the All-Star race. Adam Welsh has a 5-Star Tire Specialties onboard camera for tonight's race. He always has some very good footage. And Mike Contarino, his teammate, will have the other one. And I'll tell you what, 5-Star Tire Specialties has done a great job sponsoring the DNQ Series. They have the Dash Series. They have the in-car cameras as well, and glad to have them on board.
Yeah, with thousands of views for every one of these videos, sponsorship of DNQ is a great way to get your product, your logo, your brand out there. All good decisions, great partners of the DNQ Series with 5-Star Tire Specialties.
Here we go. Green flag is out. We're underway with one of the best in the country, Austin Yarborough, leading them. And Randy Armstrong, it looks like that top line has some bite as he may take the lead, and he does.
Bob, as DW says, nighttime is the right time. So that moisture starts to come back in the racetrack, and maybe those guys get their tires a little hotter, and they're ready to go, and they can roll that outside better than most that were running earlier today.
Man, I'll tell you what, Randy Armstrong got it done on that restart on the top. Right now he's leading Austin Yarborough, one of the best in the country. So now we're looking for the 10th place, and that's kind of in that little gaggle of karts right there. The top 10 will transfer into the Winston, and you definitely want to transfer into this race as Yarborough's already working over Randy Armstrong pretty hard.
Yeah, Armstrong looks like he's really good in the middle, and he's just trying to keep it on the bottom, but can't quite find his way past right now, Bob. He's working on it.
I'll tell you what, Ronnie Carroll's doing a good job. Definitely a DNQ guy, regular in the series as he is trying to fight off Kyle Brown. But tell you what, his stuff's looking pretty good. He may transfer into this race. That would be a win for him to make the All-Star race.
Yeah, he's got to be one of the most popular trannies in the series if he makes it through in the top 10. As the field continues to circulate here, we're getting a little bit single file, which is surprising for the level of urgency to try to win that $1,000.
Yarborough still working on that back bumper. It looks like Jeremy Morris has made his way up to second, up to third. Another DNQ regular races with us quite often, and Caleb Clenard in fourth. I mean, there is talent in the DNQ series, the guys that run every week as we watch this gaggle of karts here. But like I said, you're racing the best in the country at this race, so it's to make the feature alone is a win in itself for some of these guys.
100% as we're on board with Adam Welch and the 5-Star Tire Specialties. As he gets squeezed up into the wall, he survives. It's a gaggle there. Everyone wants to get through as the caution comes out, but the green light's still there.
Yeah, Steven Adams was having an issue as he about dumps Kyle Brown there. Adam does what he has to do to try to win a race as the caution did come out. And here we go. We're going back underway. Art Yarborough chose the top. Let's see if he can make the pass on Randy Armstrong from the top just like he did to him.
Well, maybe he'll be able to make it stick. He's still there side by side, but can't quite complete the pass coming off of 2. He might lose 3 or 4 more spots, Bob. That was pretty brazen.
Yarborough clears him, and he's going to take the lead. Wow, that was impressive from the high side as man, we're about almost 3 wide going down the front stretch. Ronnie Carroll in the front of that little pack there. And these guys, Nigel Standish, Adam Welsh, these are names, Showalter, these are names we're saying every weekend in a regular DNQ event, and they're just struggling to try to make it into this race here tonight.
You know, Standish has a habit of starting off slow and finding speed as the night goes on here. I'm hoping he doesn't run out of laps and he's one of the last trannies to make it through.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy Morris doing a great job here tonight. He's all the way up to third, and he's battling against these ringers as Dustin Bailey. He's going to make the move underneath him. But tell you what, Morris could definitely win a championship if he ran all the races in DNQ in a Predator Series.
You need to. You got to get your notebook going so you understand how the track changes. You know, the Burnett's do a great job of prepping the surface, but it's dirt. It's dynamic. It changes. You got to be on the dirt to figure out what it does. And these ringers that come in race every single weekend, and they've got that notebook. So let's see how many regulars can move their way up and stay in these training spots.
You know, I saw Jeremy spraying the PJ1 water compound on the racetrack, and it seems like it's really helped the outside groove and improve the racing.
Yeah, when you get this many entries for a kart race, even though the tires are so small, it creates a really tiny contact patch, and it's easy to rip up the surface. So it takes a lot to make a dirt surface raceable and this clean and this smooth. You know, hats off to Jeremy and all the people at the racetrack here. They do a great job. We got one more round in 3 and 4, or 1 and 2.
Robert Showalter goes for a spin, and that is going to bring out the caution. We are 18 laps into this feature. That's a tough break for Robert. He was having a good run. Oh, here we go. Yarbrough chose the top. Dustin Bailey's made all his way up to the front row, and that may have been a mistake because Dustin's really fast as we are taking the green. We're back underway.
Bailey's a man of few words, but man, he's fast tonight. He's underneath Yarbrough. He might be able to make it stick. They're side by side through 3 and 4.
Racing side by side is something that we are definitely used to seeing here at Millbridge Speedway. Yarbrough clears him up top. I'll tell you what, he's got it hooked up here tonight. That's the area we're looking at. Need to finish 10th to make this feature, and Adam Wells is struggling along with Nigel Standish, 2 names I would not expect to see struggle here right now, along with Kyle Brown.
Yeah, with these kart counts, we have a really heavy ultra black Monster Energy ultra black prep groove in the bottom. The track's working in really well. It probably needs a tire that's harder than everyone has in their trailer right now that runs here weekly. So this is where that old battle between big budget and small budget is really coming to a head. As we're 3 wide, everyone's fighting to try to be that last tranny.
Yeah, Kyle Brown got moved out of the way. Clint Mills doing a good job. He's getting his way through the field. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, Clint Mills in the race right now, and the rest of the field towards the back. I don't know what the long runs here seem to hurt a lot of the guys as the white flag is out for Austin Yarbrough. I don't know what it's got to do with tire prep, but I can tell you this: Austin Yarbrough will win this race, and he will transfer along with the top 10. What a race there. Yarbrough's pretty stout, so we'll see if Knopf's got anything for him. And it looks like Ronnie Carroll has finished 10th. Let's go down.
The Open is finished. The Race of Champions now over. And for the second time tonight, we're talking to Dustin Bailey. Dustin, that thing was on fire. Did you make any changes from the Open?
We changed tires.
What's this track trending towards now? Obviously, nobody's going to see this till after, but what's the track trending towards? What kind of changes did you make? Just stagger, chemical, compound? What was the deal?
Compound.
Man, you don't like to give us a whole lot of anything, dude. You play poker for a living?
No.
Is your girlfriend this tight?
No.
You may want to think twice before you answer that one next time. But in any case, Dustin Bailey, second here in the Race of Champions. He's now transferred to the Winston here tonight. It's deja vu all over again, guys. Tom Spannell is 66 fast yet again. And Tom, what did you learn in the Race of Champions? Now, you've been on track for 2 of the 3 sessions. You'll be on track for all 3. What'd you learn?
It's going to be tiring. That's for sure. Me and my teammate Dustin Bailey here, man, we worked traffic great together. At the end there, we was running good together, and I think we got a shot at this.
Why is it so tiring? You're just running this cheap little Harbor Freight Predator. Are you that much of a wuss or what?
Done about 100 laps already tonight. Got 50 more yet, and we're going to give it our all.
You know, real men back in the day didn't need no break. They just went 100 laps and didn't complain, didn't bitch, didn't do this stuff you're doing now. So what have you got for us in the feature? Are you going to sit here and whine till you get to lap 25 or what?
No, we're going to be leading it by lap 25.
Well, there you hear it. Tom Spannell says he'll be leading it by lap 25, which means he'll be in the fence by about lap 26 after somebody behind him decides to give him the old heave-ho into the concrete. Race of Champions winner, Austin Yarbrough. No surprise to see you in victory lane here at Millbridge in the DNQ series, but just how difficult was that Race of Champions victory to qualify you now for the Winston?
Oh, it was difficult.
I know if I restarted on the bottom, or I started on the pole, so I started on the bottom. I didn't know if we could choose on the first initial start or not, inside or outside, but I know on the bottom it was pretty slick, so I knew it was gonna be tough to try to hold off Randy, and he got the jump on me, and I fell in behind him, and the longer we went, I started, moving my line around, and I moved up in 3 and 4, about a half a go-kart, and it come alive, and I knew if we had another caution, I was definitely gonna choose the outside. I didn't get the run I wanted to off 2 on the outside, but off 4 it had a heck of a launch. So I just chose the outside the last 2 restarts on the caution, and it paid off.
How much is this stuff going to affect the track for the next race?
It'll probably affect a little bit, but it should be interesting.
A little bit of moisture never hurt anything. It just made it more interesting for that matter. Austin Yarborough got to come from the tail in the Winston, but something tells me it's a race of all-stars, guys. Anybody in the field, including him, can win it.
Well, tonight's race is very important, and L.J. McClear, a 2017 Cup champion, he's starting 7th. John Kinder, a past ARCA champion, he's starting 4th.
Randy Armstrong, past DNQ winner, he's got his work to do starting back in 15th.
Clint Mills, another Busch Series winner, he's a PGMF, he's going to start 16th.
Tyson Freeze, fan vote winner, the man in black colors tonight, starting 3rd. He could win this whole thing, along with Dan Ridenauer, drunk. He's our favorite. He's starting 2nd tonight.
The driver intros are about to start. Coming up next, it's the Winston.
Long race.
Dear Darrell, you were voted most popular driver in 89 and 90, but I must admit, back in the 70s, I booed you. Can you ever forgive me? I'm Rocky McMurray from New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
Hey, man. No hard feelings. Sincerely, Darrell Walter.
Toyota, the newest member of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and proud of it.
Welcome to Salisbury, North Carolina, and there's the trophy, the hat, and the ring, Jay-Z. We're looking at a big event here tonight.
There's a lot of adrenaline flowing right now. They're walking out of the tunnel. They're hearing their name called over the PA speaker. This is big-time racing at a small track. The stands are packed. Caitlin Benj, a fan favorite here. She won a bunch of races last year. Maybe she'll be able to beat someone like Jamie Knopf, who's won everything else there is to win in the Southeast.
They're all chasing the GOAT, Jamie Knopf, tonight. He's going to be the best one here to beat, and there they are, the class photo. 3 years in a row now we have done the Winston, had a class photo in Victory Lane, and man, I got to love it. These guys are ready to rock, and what a star-studded event. I got a lot of really good drivers here tonight.
Yeah, Brown's Karts and Parts has come on board to put on a great show here. I think that photo is only going to grow in importance and be something someone's going to want to buy a copy of from the track, perhaps. Look at the front stretch. It's packed with top-tier talent. I'm really excited for the race here this evening.
Well, let's get ready for the national anthem. We'll ship it down to the front stretch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the evening. We ask that if you would please rise. Gentlemen, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
bad as a series race.
It's like a national.
Now for the most famous words in motorsports, to give the command, Addison Welch.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, Jay-Z, the engines are fired up. The fireworks are going off. You're rock solid right now, aren't you?
I wouldn't say I'm erect, but I am definitely engorged, Bob. The fireworks got me going.
Raise hell, praise Dale. The Winston's up next.
You know, Dale, UPS drivers are among the safest drivers in the world. That's fantastic. Well, I'm proud to say that in all my years driving a UPS vehicle, I haven't had one single accident. Good. Have you ever been in an accident in your UPS vehicle?
Maybe a couple.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll mark that as an area for improvement.
They weren't all my fault.
Not his fault.
All right, the Winston All-Star Race starting lineup. Jamie Knopf on the Tar Heel Race Supplies Pole Award with last year's winner, Daniel Ridenauer, on the outside.
And one of the killers of the DNQ series, John Kinder. Inside of him, Tyson Freeze in the 3.
In our next row, it's Jason Denny and Caitlin Benj.
The wily veteran, L.J. McCleary in the 71W, and the favorite, David Markham in the 10.
In our next row, it's our transfers, Austin Yarbrough and Dustin Bailey.
2 drivers have made it all the way through the alphabet soup, Tom Spannell and Daniel Armstrong in the 321.
Jeremy Morris, a DNQ regular, and Steven Adams, another one of those guys who transferred from the Open.
Clint Mills and Randy Armstrong make up the next row. 2 grizzled vets looking to take home $1,000.
Fans waving to the drivers. Caleb Clenard and Ronnie Carroll, 2 DNQ Series regulars, made it into the feature. We'll round out the field for tonight's race. That is a great shot. No matter what you say about this, the filming of this race is amazing. And we got to thank Tony Stevens for helping us out. Let's take a look at tonight's race. It's the All-Star race. Past champions, past All-Star winners, race of champions transfers. $1,000 to the winner only. So if you finish second, it doesn't pay you anything, and that's how the All-Star race works.
No left rear is safe, Bob, as we got someone with some trouble on the inside of the track. Maybe they cheated a little bit too much and they can't get that engine to fire. I know I would do a lot for $1,000 right now, Bob. Some of it I can't mention on air.
Jeremy Morris having an issue with his engine, but man, we really want to thank Brown's Karts and Parts for being a part of this race. Ashley and Jeremy Burnett of the Millbridge Speedway. I mean, these guys have done so much work. As we're LJ McCleary has the 5-star Tire Specialties onboard camera for this race. We are getting ready to go. And all right, well, here we go. The field is set. 18 cars getting ready to take the green. Green flag is out. We are underway. $1,000 is on the line for tonight's winner. Jamie Knopf leads them into 1.
And the top 2 are smart. They get single file. Top 3, top 4 single file. They're going to want to play nice, Bob, get ahead from the rest of the field, and stay away from that hornet's nest as 1's around coming off of 4.
All right, L.J. McCleary around, and it looks like that is David Markham involved in a wreck, and that happens sometimes here early in a race.
I don't think beer's the answer. I've been sipping whiskey here instead. I'm starting to finally loosen up and be a little more natural with this shit. So I think it's whiskey going forward for DNQ videos.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all I drink is whiskey during them. And there's your spin. McCleary got jacked up, so I'll leave that in the video. Here we go. That number 3 with like the white wall tire logos on it makes it look so good. And green flag, we are back underway. Knopf leads, and looks like that high line to see if Spano can do something with it.
I hope so. He's hanging there, but if those leaders are smart, they're going to get single file again. Bailey trying to come through the field here as Markham gets caught out again. Or that's not Markham in the 44 there. That's Denny.
Jason Denny involved in that wreck. LJ McCleary again. The 5-star Tire Specials in-car camera. He got pushed into that one pretty good, looks like. So take a look at it again from another view. Denny just getting wrecked. And then McCleary getting pushed into it by Kinder. Tough break for him. Let's go down and talk to him real quick. Looks like, yeah, same deal. Just kind of got hit from behind by Morris, pushed into a left rear, popped him up, and then McCleary pushed into it.
They're offering no quarter tonight, Bob. They all want to win $1,000. They're not being nice to anyone. No one's friends right now. They're out there for blood.
So what happened?
Well, we're going out there, and everyone wanted to drive like they were damn on speed or something, try to win it. In the third lap or third corner instead of the first corner, like I said. But hey, we're gonna fix it up, and we're gonna go out there, and we're gonna go backwards, and we're gonna turn some heads. I don't know what else we can do.
Can they let you do that?
I don't care what they let me. I'm gonna. I paid to be here.
Well, tough break for Jason Denny, Cup Series champion. Been lighting the world on fire in a Cup Series lately. Been winning a lot of races as going back green. He's approaching Tim Nye's win record in the Cup Series, so we'll see if he can achieve that this year as we are back racing.
Knopf, another good start, running away with it right now. But these Predator engines tend to keep the field a little tight. You don't have someone doing something crazy with a stealth-ported NKA head or anything like that. As Yarbrough's in third, looks underneath, goes for second place. He'll get it going through 3 and 4.
Makes the pass on Spanel, and Dan Ridenauer up there. He said he hasn't run a kart since the last time he raced here and won $1,000, and he's out here tonight running Brent Lewis's kart, hauling ass, and that's good to see him back in the seat. He's been doing a lot of Legends racing, but let's go out for a silent lap 3. Well, paying tribute to Dale Earnhardt. Silent lap 3 as Jamie Knopf now has 33 car lengths on Austin Yarbrough as he is starting to check out. Looks like his shit is hauling ass.
He's been eating at Gapplebee's. He's just putting cart lengths on everybody. He's running away with it here. Now, I don't think it's any surprise he's a favorite. I think what we need to watch here is if Yarborough, Spanel, and some of those guys up front there can run him down as the race goes on here, the track changes, and those tires keep going through heat cycles.
I've become more impressed with Caleb Kennard this year than anybody else. He is running 5th right now, and last year he wasn't that good. This year he dedicated himself into racing full-time, and it's definitely helped him out a ton. When you race every week, you have no choice but to learn something, and it's really helped his program.
Yeah, you talk to that guy that's only been with a couple girls in his life, he doesn't really know what he's doing. You're talking to the guy that's going out and slaying every weekend, the ladies love him. Same thing with Kennard right now. He's out there slaying every single weekend. He's slinging his own tire prep now. He's one of the better drivers in the region now, and he's been showing it in the DNQ series every single week.
He's definitely gotten a lot better, and I know he got, as the battle for seconds heating up here, he got protested a couple weeks ago, and he said, no, we're good. He said, I've just been racing so much now. I've gotten so much better, and it's definitely shown. And another driver out there doing fairly well in that 3 machine is Tyson Freeze. He's kept it fairly clean so far this race.
Yeah, he's a strong competitor in the DNQ series, and really not just in DNQ. If he chose to run karts more often, I'm sure he could win at some of these big money shows that are $5,000, $10,000 to win. He's a shoe for the most part.
Yeah, we're watching this battle that's going on around the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place. And but Jamie Knopf is leading, and he is going to encounter some lap traffic. And last year we had about 22 karts. This year we have 18. I think having more quality karts out there is better than running a shit ton of them and having a ton of cautions.
Yeah, because those guys running 15th, 18th, 20th, they're left rearing each other. They're driving over each other just to try to get towards the front. And I think this is a better show for the fans. No one wants to watch caution laps, Bob. They want to see people race.
I want to note that we had the Open, and we couldn't run like 3 laps with double file restarts, and these guys can do it no problem. So you guys got to better get your shit together in the ARCA series. And, it just shows you how much quality driver there is out here. If you have a level head, it's not that hard not to wreck.
No, and you see Bailey and Armstrong, 2 guys that have come through the field, through the alphabet soup here, trying to make their way towards the front. Armstrong on the inside of Bailey, and it looks like he'll get the move done coming off of 4.
Yeah, like I said before, we're watching the best in the country out here racing tonight, and Tyson Freeze, no exception to that, as well as hitting some lap traffic here. David Markham goes a lap down as Jamie Knopf has just started to yard the field, and we got to be getting close to our halfway break, and that'll be a break where these guys can work on their cars. But don't look now, Austin Yarbrough starting to run down Knopf.
Yeah, Yarbrough's no slouch. I was wondering, Bob, if he was going to be able to run him down. And it looks like with the way the prep situation is working in these tires, the race is coming to Yarborough and sneaking away from Knopf.
Yeah, and I'm still more impressed with Dan Ridenauer than anything else, along with Spanel as well. But Ridenauer hasn't driven one of these things in a long time. He is doing a great job as we're slowly going through the field. And Spanel, another one of those guys who went through the Open and doing a great job as well.
Yeah, you know, Ridenauer, him and Tim Nye used to trade wins left and right back in the early days of the DNQ series when, everyone raced hungover. Now you got guys with fitness programs and pulling up in toter homes. The racing's evolved. You know, people want to race where the talent is. And you're starting to see as the caution flies here again in the DNQ series.
Well, the halfway break is here, so now you get to change anything you want except for the driver and the engine. It's going to be pure pandemonium. We'll be right back after this message.
Young Guns. To me, shaving is just like racing. I'll do anything I can to get an advantage. So I use Mach 3 Turbo Champion from Gillette.
It's the closest, most comfortable shave, even against the grain. It keeps me ahead of the competition.
What are you doing in my car?
Nothing.
What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
Mach 3 Turbo Champion, the only razor used by the Gillette Young Guns.
Welcome back to the Millbridge Speedway. The halfway break is underway. You have got 10 minutes to change anything you want except for the engine and tires. Now is the time. If you want to change cross, you change it. Tires, gear, whatever you want. You sling shit left and right. Get it done. You got 10 minutes. Let's go down to Tony.
Guys, the halfway break is here. Now, we go back to old school NASCAR rules. This race is official. I'm starting to feel some moisture in the sky. And you know these teams, they made their decisions based off of a 25-lap second half of the event. Well, if this continues to come into play, we could have problems. They're making changes based on a 25-lap run. We've talked to teams and drivers who said these tires are better in a longer run. These tires fire off better. These different qualities of what they're putting on the kart. Well, all that they've learned may go for naught now because this rain can change the surface. It's going to change the race. Who knows? It could open up. We might have a downpour and this race be official. There's a lot of question marks down here, but as you can see, the teams behind me all working on their karts, changing tires for the most part, adding fuel, making adjustments as they see fit. A lot of question marks, a lot of decisions being made, and with only a few minutes left, they've got to make sure that they're right because there's $1,000 on the line, winner take all, and the rain is beginning to pick up.
Austin Yarbrough's running down Knopf. Can he win this race?
I think so. He's got the crew that can do it. He's a talented driver. I think he's got a shot.
Let's go down to Tony and talk to Jamie Knopf.
Guys, it's pandemonium down here. It is pit stop time. We're already about a minute and a half or so into this halfway break. Jamie Knopf is up here talking with his crew. What did you learn other than the fact that right now you're fast?
Well, I think the 811's faster. He run me down from a good bit, so we're going to probably change tires and hope they're better.
How many sets of tires did you have prepped and ready to put on at this break?
Just one set besides the ones on the cart. It's all I brought.
Do you think that's going the right direction, knowing what you know now?
I hope so. These took off real good and kind of leveled out, and it needs to get better. We didn't have a bunch of cautions, so maybe the other tires will be better in the long run.
That's Jamie Knopf up front. He's got the biggest hand to play because he can only go backwards, guys. He better make sure it's right. There's $1,000 on the line.
Jay-Z, should he be concerned that RBR ran him down?
I'd be able to hear those footsteps. His tires are going away. Here's where he needs to make a change and put on maybe a harder set with some more bite and keep that streak going.
Let's go down to Tony. He's very busy during his halfway break.
Dan Ridenauer's team relatively calm down here in the infield during this stop. They've already taken a few tires off the cart. Dan, you seem pretty calm. Does that mean you've got a little something left in reserve?
Let's hope so. Like I said, we wasn't quite as good as I wanted to be, but we'll try some 4 different black magics and try it again.
Were those the only 4 you had prepped, or did you guys make the decision now to go this direction?
Just wanted to try that direction first, but they're a little soft. We might go back to them, though.
Well, why would you want to go softer or harder now? I mean, without giving away secrets, what's the track doing?
It's a little more harder than what we thought, so we'll try it again.
Well, we'll see what happens. Dan Ridenauer not telling us everything, but he's got that little smile of his, tells me he's up front. He's still got a bumper on it. He may still be in contention, and as long as he's there on the white flag lap, anything can happen.
Ridenauer was just a little off there. What would you change right now to get this thing right?
I think he just needs to put a better set of tires on right now, compensate for the racetrack. He's got the skill. He's got the laps here. He just needs the right set of rubber.
I wonder if that's straight vodka or if it's water, but maybe we'll find out later. Let's go down to Tony Stevens.
Austin Yarbrough up here at the fence. Now, it's not very often you get advice from a legend in one of these. Gentleman right there in the hat and the Phantom Racing chassis T-shirt, none other than Harold Wiggins himself. And Austin, I know you guys go a long way back, and this is just kind of a fun race, but How much does it mean for you to have him here kind of helping you guide what you may do during this break?
Oh, yeah. Harold, he helps me out a lot, and can't thank him enough. And it's great to talk to a guy like him, you know, that owns Phantom, and it's just unbelievable, you know, to be in the spot I am, and so blessed to be where I am today.
That being said, what advice did he give you? Did you have a lot of time to talk about it? And for that matter, this track seems to have changed a bunch across the 2.5 races we've had. What are you doing?
I think I'm going to stick to the outside. I kept running about a go-kart higher than Jamie was, and right there at the end, I was probably about a tenth, 2 tenths faster than him, and I'm just going to keep working that top side and try to pass him.
Any changes? Seems a lot of guys are changing tires, whether it be their chemical or their compound or both. Any changes on the 811?
Just tires. I don't think we're going to change anything major. Just try to change the tires and get a little bit better.
That's Austin Yarbrough. Nobody has mentioned the word bumper. Got something there. Going to move the guy if I have to, but something tells me before it's over with, there might be a few bumpers moved, or cars moved, bumpers dinged, so on and so forth. 90 seconds to go, guys. It's almost down to crunch time.
Austin Yarbrough is running down the leader, but Steven Adams and a lot of these guys, if you're towards the back of this field, I mean, we've seen them change tires. We've seen them change gear, cross. I mean, they're talking it over right now. There's $1,000 on the line right here. I mean, what do you think some of these conversations are?
They're talking about what kind of tires they got sitting in their trailer right now. And if they're going to go harder for more roll speed, you got to take some gear out of it. If they're going to go grippier, you got to put some gear in it. You know, what are they going to do to try to catch these guys that are 3 and 4 tenths faster than them up front?
Yeah, and you're racing the best in the country. We've said it 100 times here tonight. Tyson Free's got his whole team out there. They're cleaning it. They're working on the gear. He said that thing wasn't pulling over the radio, so we'll have to see if he gets his shit together towards the end of this race. Well, they're all chasing the GOAT, Jay-Z. Jamie Knopf, he's leading this race, and we've definitely got some moisture. What is this going to do?
This completely changes what their tire choice is going to be. That water is going to be laying right on the top of the racetrack. They're probably going to have to go more aggressive, but is that going to hurt them on the long end of the run? Will those tires go away as they build heat from all that prep?
We'll find out shortly. Coming up next, second half of the Winston.
Gary, just between you and me, you find Earnhardt, you know, intimidating?
Well, he's pretty darn competitive. Nobody trades paint like Dale. He does have that black Monte Carlo.
Yeah, he's got that black Monte Carlo.
But remember one thing. When he first started, his car was pink.
No, pink?
Pink? Pink. And he's never gotten over it.
Genuine Chevrolet. The cars more champions trust, no matter what color they're painted.
The Winston, the DNQ All-Star race, is brought to you by the DNQ Karting Series. Shirts are available on the website. Go check them out at dnqkartingseries.com. And by Brown's Carts and Parts in Lancaster, South Carolina. They raffle stuff off every day, Jay-Z, and you got to love what they do down there on their website. It is just about perfect. For $25, you can win something worth $500.
Oh, it's great. They put up a Micron 5 or a set of tires and rims, and for $25, you got a set of getting a chance of getting a quality piece of equipment. You know, hats off to Brown's Carts and Parts for coming on board and doing those raffles on a daily, weekly basis.
Yeah, we got to thank them. They're sponsoring the Intercourse as well. They got another race after that, too. So we want to thank Brown's Carts and Parts for coming on board. And, oh, my God. We're sitting here in the booth. It's nice and dry, but it is wet out there right now, and the fans are dedicated. They're sitting here getting wet. You can almost see the shine off the racetrack as we're getting ready to send them green, and here they go. They're wiping visors, but we are green. Once they get going, it should dry the track off.
You know, you get that vortex going once the carts get up to speed, and hopefully they all wiped enough goat in their tires to see Knopf move up off the bottom. You see Yarbrough slide up into the wall. It's a gaggle here as they try to get that moisture off the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, he had a run on Knopf right there. I thought he was going to make the pass on the outside, and tough deal that it rained right there. If it didn't rain, maybe he actually would have made it.
Yeah, I think so, but you know, he was coming at the end of that first segment here as he's slowly running down Knopf through 1 and 2. I think Yarbrough's got a shot at winning this thing, Bob.
We'll see as the laps wind down. We got 25 laps left. Now, the winner only gets $1,000. If we had more sponsorship, we'd pay second and third. We had it the first year, didn't have it this year, but it's always great racing here no matter what. And these guys cannot mess around. They've got to get towards the front as Spinell and Dustin Bailey are moving Ridenhour out of the way.
See, Bailey's a veteran there. He could have made it 3 wide, but instead he got to the back bumper of Spanel and pushed him. This helped them keep their track position and keeps the leaders from running away. That's a racecraft there, Bob. That's the talent we have here tonight.
Austin Yarborough right on the back bumper, and right here is where you're going to see who made the right adjustments at the halfway point. Air pressure, gear, wedge, whatever they did, it's definitely going to show right now. It looks like Dan Ridenhour went the wrong friggin' way on his adjustment.
Yeah, he might have put a boat anchor on his go-kart, Bob. He's nowhere to be seen now, as we saw Bailey and Spanel get by him, and he's only losing spots left and right.
Watching Yarborough all over the back bumper of Knopf, and can he make the move? He goes to the inside. They bump.
Man, it's tough. It's tough sledding out there. They're both the best in the country. If you look at Knopf's kart, his is very settled and easy, where Yarborough's moving around a little bit. He's in yaw a little bit more. 2 different approaches, 2 ways to get the clothes off the stripper, but they're both fast up front.
Man, we got karts all over the place. Looks like Jeremy Morris got spun, and that is going to bring out the caution. Daniel Armstrong involved in that as well. And tough break for Jeremy Morris. He was having such a good run. Looks like he got wrecked from behind by somebody. He is not happy. He gives him a WTF. Looks like it was Dustin Bailey. Let's see if we can find out what happened here.
Yeah, he's around, and then Armstrong had nowhere to go and gets hung up on his left rear. Tough break for both of those guys. Yeah, Bailey just shit-canned him. And can you blame him? He's trying to win $1,000. Tonight's the night this stuff's going to happen.
No, we got choose cone restarts, so they're going to make their way up towards the front as Bailey stuck on the bottom. I don't know if he should have taken the top or not, but Steven Adams did, or see if he can get to the 3rd position. And he does. Man, I'll tell you what, that top side has some bite tonight. I've seen a couple guys go from the top and make it off it, too.
Yeah, you don't have to put as much wheel in that go-kart when those tires cool down after the caution laps. You get a better, it gets wound up better. You get a better drive off. As Clenard's there on the high side trying to fight his way back up to the front after losing a couple spots early on here.
Caitlin Ben's doing a pretty damn good job here tonight. She hasn't raced with us all year, and good to see her back out here racing.
Yeah, she won a bunch of races last year. I was hoping to see her face around the pits a little bit more so far, but the schedule just hasn't permitted for her to be at the DNQ races so far this year. Let's see where she ends up tonight.
Well, these two are pacing each other here, and the laps are winding down. If you're Yarborough, I mean, you only have a couple laps to make a move because the engines are so low horsepower. You have to get it wound back up if you can make it, and I think that's more the problem than anything else. You just got to make sure when you make the move it's right.
Yeah, and that's where some of these gear changes at the halfway break came into play. Maybe some people needed to get off the corner a little bit better, and some people took some teeth off to try to get a little bit more top speed at the end of the straightaway here. And like you said, Bob, with these Predator engines that are restricted on horsepower, if you twitch that wheel too much, you scrub all your speed, and the guy drives away from you.
I'm surprised Yarborough's not trying a higher line than Knopf. You see these guys do it all the time with this new All-Star package. Sometimes it helps get more air on the front end of that thing and helps you turn a little bit better, and I thought he could drive away from it.
Yeah, I think Knopf's a wily veteran. He knows where the grip is on the racetrack, and he's just making sure he keeps Yarborough in dirty air, and it's up to Yarborough to try something different to get by him.
It's a tough deal because these guys respect each other so much. I'm sure they've taught each other so much stuff over the years that you're not just going to go in there and dump them, but you almost have to if you want to win. So that's kind of the situation that they're in right now.
They've each got a whole bunch of trophies at home, but man, I'm surprised they're not going at each other harder for this DNQ hardware. It's a great-looking trophy, and you're immortalized in history when you win this race.
Yeah, you get the ring, too, this year. We threw the ring on there as lap traffic starting to play a factor here, and they get past David Markham, no problem. And the caution is out. This should be our 5 to go. It's about ready to get pretty interesting here.
Yeah, I'm looking to see how many people choose that high side and try to get an advantage on second, third, and fourth, and try to get to that top-paying spot. Remember, second place is definitely the first loser here tonight. First place takes home everything.
Yeah, and the cone will be out shortly, so we'll see what happens here. I want to thank our sponsors for tonight, Brown's Karts and Parts. Did a great job coming on board for this event here tonight, and I want to thank the fans and everybody who entered this race. It's been really good as Dan Ridenhour is working on his stuff, but want to thank everybody that supports DNQ, whether it's sponsorship or showing up to the races. As the choose cone is out, Yarborough goes to the top.
Bob, I know we were talking about Yarborough following in Knopf's tire tracks, but for these restarts that are brutal, they're taking each other out. I think I would have chosen the inside and made sure I made it through 1 and 2 cleanly.
Well, he got such a run on him last time. I think he had to do it. And he's going to jump the shit out of this start. If I was him, I would. As we go green, and it is 5 to go for $1,000. Can he make the jump on him? Can he make that high groove work?
Oh, it doesn't look like it, Bob, as he falls down to the inside. He's in second place. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all under contest right now. Bailey's up, moving up a couple spots here. He's got a fast go-kart at the end of this race. Let's see what he can do.
Can Yarborough get that run on him? I don't know. It's going to be tough with only 5 laps to go, racing against the greatest in the country. Steven Adams doing a really good job. Very impressed with his run here. Started all the way from the open, made his way in, and now he's running third in the Winston.
Yeah, all these guys up front are really fast right now. It's just like intermediate racing. They all get 1 second apart. They'll need a little clean air on their nose. Who's going to sack up and be able to make a move and get by Jamie?
Knopf coming off of turn 3 and 4 will take the white flag, 1 to go. Can Yarborough do anything with it?
I don't think so, Bob. Jamie isn't the type of guy that messes up. I think it was all back at that restart. If Yarborough didn't get it done, he wasn't going to do it. As Jamie rounds 3 and 4, coming to the checkered flag.
Jamie Knopf will win the All-Star race, the Winston, for the second time in his career. Let's go down to victory lane.
Out of the go-kart, Jamie Knopf. Wow. That was a celebration if I have ever seen one. I hope none of us get stopped by a cop some point tonight, because we're going to have a hard time telling them this story, but you earned that bath shower. How did you do it?
I was real good for about 5 laps, and then it faded in the first half, so I was going to put some harder tires on, and then it started drizzling rain, so I went back with the same ones, and then Yarborough kept trying to pass me. I said, man, I need to be in the lead, and for that 5 to go caution, I said, well, he's going to take the high side anyway and give me the bottom, so it really didn't matter. But I had a good restart on that last 5 to go, and I think he battled with another cart, and then that let me get away just enough.
What happened down here in turn 3? You talked about him trying to get by you. It got physical. What happened? What went through your mind once he got inside of you and tried the pass?
Yeah, he tried to dump me down there, but no, I'm just kidding. It was slick on the bottom when it was drizzling, and I mean, as long as you kept it in the groove, it had a lot of grip, but it was just slick down there on the bottom getting in.
Well, you've earned the beer, and now you've earned the trophy. Eddie DeHunt, Series President, would like to present you with the Winston Trophy and other accolades.
Jamie, great job tonight. This is your second All-Star win. Obviously, I don't know what you're going to do with all that money, but I want to present you with the Winston Trophy. Dick Timmons did a great job designing this thing, and here's a $15 championship ring that actually looks like it's worth a lot more than what it is, but congratulations.
You didn't think you were coming out with a ring out of that one, did you?
No, until I picked the trophy up and turned everything over a minute ago. When I got off the cart, I seen it. So, but I like to thank Eddie and all he does. For the last 2 weeks, everybody in the go-kart world was the Winstons the next week, so everybody was ready to come run.
How big of an event has this become in its short history?
The best in the country is here tonight, so they ain't about one more that wasn't here, but he'll probably come next year, and then it'll be the best in the country here.
Says a lot about who he beat. It truly has become an all-star race here in the DNQ Karting Series with the Winston, won for the second time in his career by Jamie Knopf. Congratulations to him. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, Jamie Knopf down there celebrating in victory lane, $1,000 richer. I'm sure he's going to pass Tech, won't have any issues, but let's go down and talk to our second place finisher.
That much short. Austin Yarborough came up just that little bit short. Was there anything that you could have, would have, maybe now done differently in that last 25-lap segment, or even the final 5?
My only chance was that time I got up under him in 3 and 4, and if I would have done something different, I probably would have just went in there wide open and just try to run him up. But I like trying to race Jamie clean. He's taught me everything I know, and driving-wise and just everything. He's helped me a lot in my career, and I respect that guy more than anything. And but no, I mean, unless I could talk Matt into putting on softer tires, I mean, that's all I probably could have done different. he was good. Like he said, he was good for about 5 laps, and I knew if we at that 5-lap caution, I knew he pretty much had it because his stuff just made so much more bite and drive up off the corner the last 5 laps.
Well, there you have it. Austin Yarborough disappointed, but had a solid run. Unfortunately, we only pay the winner. Now, here's the good news. You never know. He could win it in the tech shed.
Austin Yarborough had a good kart here tonight, just couldn't get it done. And it wasn't a fact of not getting it done. He was there plenty of times. He just needed to make the pass.
Yeah, if you look, those top 2 drivers, both on Phantom Racing chassis, they both have their own tire program, but they're the best of the best when it comes to winning these races.
3rd spot for Steven Adams. We didn't talk a lot about him tonight, but Steven, when it came down to crunch time, there you were in the thick of it, but not quite as good as the top 2. What was the difference?
Man, I just I didn't know what to expect. I came down here, I had way too hard of tires all day. I just kept trying to fight with it, and just kept running the same tires. And Jerry helped me get better. We just kept working on it. I race against these 2 every weekend, so it's pretty fun, just to come out here and play a little bit on a Tuesday night. And it was fun. They put on a good show, and we'll try to come back and get it next year.
How much jealousy is there, or maybe not jealousy is the right term, but how much drive and desire is there to sit here on the front stretch and watch what just happened in Victory Lane for next year's Winston?
Well, we're going to work at it. We're going to try to get better. I kind of know more what to expect now. So we're going to go back and work on it and come back next year and see if we can't get it done.
Steven Adams is going to try his best to get it done, but he's got 364 days to make it happen. That's a long time to figure out how to outguess yourself, guys. He's another one, hoping this one does go to the tech shed, but something tells me it very well may not.
All right, Jay-Z, let's take a look at the final results for the DNQ All-Star race. Brown's Karts and Parts, the Winston. Jamie Knopf takes home the win. Austin Yarborough, a close second. Steven Adams, your top 3 right there. And the stars next to the names are guys who transferred from the Open. Steven Adams as well, one of those guys. What an impressive run for those guys.
Bailey and Spannel put in some work tonight, Bob. But that was a lot of go-karts they had to pass this evening. And they did it well. Very impressive run. But let's talk about our regulars in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th place. Morris, Caitlin Benj Drinkin, Caleb Kennard from 5-Star Tire Specialties, and Ronnie Carroll. Great run for Ronnie Carroll, who's had some hard luck in the past. Very impressive for these guys to be running with the best in the country.
Yeah, Ronnie Carroll runs the ARCA Series. He is the Carroll Tractor and Trailer Repair representative for the DNQ Series. So a really good run for him. When you really think about it, you're racing the best in the country, and that is an impressive finish whether you want to admit it or not. Well, Jay-Z, our next race is one of my hands-down favorites, the Intercourse, the road course on dirt for the DNQ Series. We have a test coming up. I mean, last year we used barriers, but this year we actually have the ability to cut the racetrack, and we're going to do that this year. 90-degree turns. I mean, last year was so much good racing. I cannot wait to see what happens here, and it's all presented by Brown's Karts and Parts.
We're going to have guys have to turn right and use the brakes to make it through these turns. Adds a whole other element. Maybe we're going to get some ringers in to come in from nowhere and try this Intercourse deal, or maybe some of the talent that always wins will rise to the top. I'm excited. I'm ready for some Intercourse racing, Bob. I'm pumped.
And remember, the winner gets a Golden Ashley Burnett. I mean, that is hands down one of the best trophies that we have in the DNQ Karting Series.
It's really one of the prized possessions you could put up there on your mantle. Ashley, great figure, makes a great trophy. We're happy she's such a good sport and let us offer this award to our amazing competitors.
Well, we want to thank Brown Karts and Parts for making this possible, this race. Jeremy and Ashley Burnett, the Millbridge Speedway, every one of our sponsors involved in DNQ, Hearts HVAC, Ghostface Brewing, Carroll Tractor and Trailer Repair, Pink Magic Tire, 5-Star Tire Specialties. We want to thank you guys so much for being part of this series, and all the fans that came out tonight. We had a bunch of fans here. I think it was about 300 fans, and we cannot wait to run this road course here coming up in June. So for Jay-Z, I am Bob Duato. We want to thank you guys for being here. Cannot wait to run this road course race, and we'll see you guys in June.